Hello coffee farmers, welcome back to Mr. Githua's farm, or rather Mr. Githua's coffee farm. As you can see, our coffee is really growing well and we thank God. And just to remind you that our coffee is around 8 months, and also you can see that the spray we sprayed on the weeds, it has really worked because all the weeds has dried up. And now you can see the coffee clearly. So in today's video, we are going to talk about single stem coffee farming, because this is what we want to achieve in our coffee farm for various reasons that I will explain unto you. And to achieve the single stem farming, we have to do some pruning. That is why you can see Mr. Githua with some type of scissors, so that he can ensure that he achieve that type of coffee farming. So I will start by explaining what we mean by single stem farming and why we should have single stem farming. And as you can see, we also visited the farm to check on various things like the coffee that are slanted, maybe to make it strong and straight, and also to look at the insects that may be affecting the coffee. So having said that, maybe I can explain what we mean by single stem coffee farming. And this means training the coffee plant as young as it is, as you can see, to grow with one strong upright main stem instead of several stems. And here is the reason why we should do that. You can see Mr. Githua is pruning, and I will be explaining unto you how he's pruning. You can see he is pruning in a slanted way. And the reason unto why he's pruning in a slanted way, you can see, yeah, he's pruning in a slanted manner. It encourages faster healing. It also protects the bud below, maybe the cut, that bud that may be growing. It also reduces pest entry, and it also prevents water accumulation when rainwater comes, or even when you're doing irrigation. And it also reduces the risk of fungal infections and bacterial diseases. So I was talking about single stem coffee farming and the importances of single stem coffee farming, and this is what Mr. Githua was explaining to me as he was showing me the scissors that he's going to be using to prune his coffee so that he can achieve the single stem coffee farming. So we are going to start with this one. Actually, I was really feeling a lot of pain because the coffee is doing so well. And you have to identify the stronger and the original branch before you prune it and make it single stem. And that is what Mr. Githua is doing. As you can see, he is identifying, and he has already identified the branch that is going to remain. And all the others, as green as they are, as strong as they are, they are going to be pruned. And this is what was really making me feel pain, because I felt like we are injuring the coffee. But he explained to me the importance of pruning it as early as now. You train it as early as now. And you have, like you've seen, he's pruning that those are the secondary branches in a slanted manner, because I've told you it avoids water accumulation when it rains, and this prevents fungal infection and bacterial diseases. It also makes the stem to heal faster, and also make sure that the buds that are down there, they are not affected. So you may be asking, why are we doing this? Who doesn't like to see many branches in his or her coffee? You can see there is also the other one that is being removed, because we want to ensure that as this coffee is growing, it has only one branch. It was really paining me, but Mr. Githua did it anyway. One of the reasons unto why we want we want it to be that single. You see it's now a single stem. It's for better yield and quality, because a single strong stem channels nutrients and energy directly to the main fruiting branches. You can see we have only remained with the main fruiting branches, and that is what Mr. Githua was counting. It also produces uniform, larger and better quality coffee berries. I told you we are not doing coffee farming like any other coffee farmer, and that is why I also insisted unto you, if you want us to help you in planting, preparing your land, digging the holes and doing everything else for your coffee management until you get your first berries, we are here, and you can always contact Mr. Githua via +254 700 988. Again, you can see he's also pruning the other coffee. It was really paining me, but I had to understand why we were doing that. First of all, I said you must identify which is the strongest branch and which is the original branch. The other reason why we want it to be single stem, you can see it has remained as a single stem. It is for easier management, because pruning, spraying, weeding, and also harvesting becomes simpler because the plant structure is neat and it is also accessible. Yeah, we are also identifying that some other coffee plants, they have some developing problems that we were not understanding, but Mr. Githua assured me within the course of time he will be able to identify what is really affecting this plant here. You can see the leaves are drying. The coffee just looks like it is not strong enough, it is not healthy, but we shall get to understand. The other reason why we want single stem, it is because it reduces pests and diseases, because it will be an open structure that improves air circulation and sunlight penetration, making it harder for fungal diseases like coffee berry diseases, that is CBD, to thrive. It is also easier to spot and remove infected branches quickly. Like now you can see it is very easy for you to identify a coffee that has a problem and the other one that is doing so well. Yeah, that is also the other one that required to be pruned. Yeah, you can see we first start with identifying, and I've been taking you through the process of all this coffee farming management, since you plant your coffee till it develops, and we are going to walk this journey together. You can see he has now identified, and he has it is also difficult to identify which one to remove, but you can see he's doing that passionately because that is what he loves to do. The other important thing of a single stem branch is efficient use of space, because plants can be spaced closer without overcrowding, and this maximizes land use and can increase yield per acre. And the other one is a stronger and longer lived plants. A single stem develops a firm, deep root system and sturdy trunk that can support heavy berry rods without breaking. We also have a challenge because of maybe the seasons that have been there, dry seasons, that has made some of the coffee not to grow, but we are planning to replant them once the rain season comes. And it is a journey, and you should be very patient as a farmer, because you can see this one we replaced and it is also doing very fine. It is a young coffee, but it's strong and it is doing very, very well. So even the others, we shall be able to replace them once the rains come. So those are importances of doing a single stem coffee farming. And like I've told you, you can see one of the challenges that there we have planted. Actually, Mr. Gidhua told me that there he has replanted like 3 times. So he doesn't understand whether it is the soil problem or which is the underlying problem, but he has prepared the hole again. As a farmer, you do not lose hope. He has prepared the hole again, and in due time, once the rain comes, he will be able to plant. The reason unto why he has prepared that hole and exposed the soil, you can see the soil is exposed, is to make sure that the soil get exposed to the sunlight, so that maybe if it has a problem, by the time it rains, it will be able to, it will have become fertile, and it will be able to help the coffee grow. The other challenge is to these 2 small animals. Yeah, so like I have said, we are going to replace this coffee. We have like around 100 and bushes that we need to replace, because I've told you time and again, if you're a coffee farmer or if you're a farmer of anything else, you should be very patient. So that is about today's routine that we were doing, that is pruning. Mr. Gidhua was also explaining to me how you know the farm management is doing a good job is when you see some leaves that are growing that have not been sprayed. That is how you know that he has been doing a very good job. If you can focus on that leaf, you can see there are some 2 leaves that have grown since the last spray. So that is what we are doing in today's farm visit. And actually, we really thank God. That is also another one that we replaced. It is also doing fine. But Mr. Gidhua always check. He was telling me that the coffee is having a stunted growth because he doesn't understand why the stem is bending like that. But later he's going to, when that bush grows, he's going to support it and maybe try to make it straight. So he's wondering what is the cause. That is why you see him doing his hands like that. So generally, we can only say that God has been faithful unto us, because surely when we were going to the farm, we met with some men and they were telling us that, "Oi, your coffee already dried up." That is also another challenge. You plant a coffee, it grows so well, again, it dries up. But it is because of the sun and also some other insects may be affecting it, but we keep on trying. So the 2 men were telling us that our coffee has already dried up, but they didn't know that we sprayed the weeds so that the weeds can dry up, because they were really overwhelming in the farm. Again, Mr. Gidhua is telling me this coffee still has hopes, because down there it is green. So he told me that that one, we're going to give it time, it is going to shoot. And once again, this is Mr. Gidhua's farm. Today we were doing the slanted pruning to make sure that we get the single stem coffee bush. And I've told you the reasons as to why we want the single stem. So you can see that the weeds have really dried up. And I was asking Mr. Gidhua, how comes that the weeds have dried up but the coffee is still standing? And he told me that he explained to the coffee farm manager on how to spray those weeds, and you can see they have really dried up, and that is how they ensured that the coffee was still standing. So you can see the spacing that I was telling you, 9 feet. And in the previous videos I have explained why So you can see the coffee is doing fine. I just decided to walk around different places to see the consistency of the coffee and to show you maybe the distance from one coffee to the other. That is also another coffee that gave Mr. Githu a lot of stress because he didn't understand how that coffee is growing. He didn't even understand which is now the branch that he is supposed to remain with, but he removed those buds that were growing down there. And you can see he's doing it in a slanted manner, carefully, to avoid waterlogging. Yeah, he's also doing it in a slanted way for faster healing, for better light exposure to the single stem, and to also reduce pest attack, and to also support proper sap flow. You can see now that one, he wondered which one am I going to remove. It is also very tough to identify which branch you're going to remove, so he was just explaining to me. You can see the spacing, and I am telling you, just continue working with us in this journey, and very soon we shall see berries to harvest. Like I was telling you, those men thought that our coffee had dried up because they could only see dried grass, but they didn't know that we had sprayed those weeds. So as you can see, we planted our coffee in a very hot area because, again, coffee is a fruit and it requires warm temperatures to make sure that it produces high yields. So if you need our help, we are here for consultation in anything, maybe leasing the land, because we told you we are doing this farming in a leased land. Maybe me sharing the land to ensure that you have the best measurement, that is 9 feet by 9 feet. Also digging the holes, proper way of planting the coffee, what you need to do in the hole, and at what stage do you start spraying your coffee, and what do you spray, at what duration of time. All this coffee management, you can contact Mr. Githua once again via +254 700 861 988 0700 861 988. You can see the coffee that we replaced is still young, but it's doing fine. If you need the best company products for spray, again, you can contact Mr. Githua. He's going to advise you on the same, the quality pesticides, the quality sprays. He's going to do that. That is why we are here. Like and share.